treat in store for you as you learn about someone who can help you to achieve the maximum. Matter of fact, I'm talking from personal experience. Recently, I was in a wonderful conference where I was speaking, but I went a little bit early. And you know how it's fun to do that? You go so you can be part of everything. Went through an experience that I had heard about these kinds of things, heard great results from it, and I got a chance to see it. I got a chance to experience it. Going through and breaking through barriers. If you've got barriers that are holding you back, you want to stick around for this, because joining us right now from his offices in St. Paul, Minnesota, is the amazing Troy Stendy. Troy, thanks for being with us today.
Hello, Terry. The amazing, huh? I kind of like that. That's great.
Yeah, I think the amazing. At least I'll call it that, because Troy is a guy that if you haven't met him yet, you're going to really like getting a chance to know this guy. He helped me in a way, in a very practical way. We were at a conference. He was showing people how to literally break through a board. As a matter of fact, I even have mine right here, kept them there on the floor, and you see what I did is I put them together like this, and this, and I could write. It's a little bit bright right now, but I wrote some things down here that I wanted to break through, personal things, something were holding me back, and Troy really helped me on thinking it through on what to do. It wasn't like I had anything major, like I wanted to give up smoking or lose weight or anything like that. I was okay in those areas, but I had some other areas that I wanted to break through, and I had to really dig on it. He helped me on that, and then once we did it, we had the boards, and he showed us how to hit and how to smash and then how to work through it and do a lot of different things on that. Troy, tell us a little bit about what's behind that. I'm telling you from a novice, amateur, rank amateur point of view. Tell us what's involved with the boards and breaking through barriers as you demonstrated.
Well, what we do is, when I'm speaking to a group, everybody gets a board, and I tell them that we're going to break a board, but it's really a metaphor for breaking through a barrier in your life that's holding you back. And although you will break a board, it's about the metaphor. And we talk about barriers in our life that hold us back. And what I mean by that specifically is something that you are doing, feeling, believing, thinking that is not serving you. And for the board breaking, it has to be something you have control over. Something you can make a mental shift just in an instant to make it different.
I like the way you say that. It's something you have control over. I might say, gee, I want this political action to take place, or I want the weather to do this. Well, that's not going to happen, but it's something we can control, which is really an enormous amount.
Yeah, we can control a lot more than we think we can. And you know, if you try to change something, like, I think there's this person in my life that's holding me back, and if they weren't in my life would be at another level. You know, you can't control somebody. You can't necessarily fix them or change them. So the reality is, for some people, they might have this person in their life that's making things difficult. So since they can't change them, the other person, what can they do to change themselves to make the relationship different? So there are different ways that we can have more control than we think. And you know, for that example, maybe like there's this boss or the supervisors that it's difficult, and since you can't change them, what can you change about yourself? You know, I've had people in the past have their barrier of being real closed-minded. So when they listen to their boss or supervisor, they're closed-minded to the ideas they have, and so it just doesn't go in and things don't change. And there's frustration and anger and tension because of that. So they change listening with an open mind, and they write that as their barriers, closed-mindedness. And when they bust through that, something happens, something shifts in people. When they write a barrier down, it becomes very, very real. And then when they break through that, whether it's their hand or their foot, things shift internally, and it takes a whole new level of motivation. It creates that motivation in people to really shift that in themselves. And so when people go to their work the next day, they start listening with an open mind, and all of a sudden they hear the boss, they start doing the things. They don't necessarily always like the opinions of the boss, but maybe, hey, maybe this might work, it's going to change the dynamics, and things shift just because of a small act of breaking a board, which shifts something in your mind.
Yeah, I think it's very important that as we have those small successes and something like breaking a board, which, by the way, doesn't always break. I tried it myself, and I can share some here. I went through a few times and it didn't work, but you were there to help me to make sure I could see it right. And I think there's certain areas of our brain that we can tap into by using this. And when we have those small successes, it helps us to achieve those other successes as well. And what you're talking about is gaining control of our life. And another thing I want to talk with you about is the element that you're getting into now and really helping a lot of people with in chi breathing. And what that means is a certain type of breathing that helps us to achieve more, scientifically based. This helps our brain to open up. Tell us a little bit about what that is and what you're doing with it.
Yeah, well, this is an exciting adventure that I'm on with my partner, Deanna Ryder. She is an expert in breath work and healing through the breath, and I have expertise in qigong and in how the mind works and personal breakthroughs and like board breaking and things. And so we're bringing our elements together to create this program called Chi Breathing. And what it is Chi is kind of your life force, your inner energy, your personal power, and breathing is breathing. And so this in the essence is we're going to increase your energy, your life force, your vitality, and your health through real intentional breathing. And we teach a process called Chi Breathing, which there's forms of it, different time lengths, but the main one that we focus on is the 30-minute Chi Breathing. And there's a whole process to it that is very simple and easy to do and has profound impacts. It really shifts people health-wise. When you get more oxygen to your body and into your brain, you can be healthier, and you can have more energy, and you can be smarter in ways because your brain is able to function more efficiently.
Yeah, absolutely.
About that
I'm no
study.
expert on this, and I love the way that you do it, but I've seen a lot of studies that talk about bringing in the enhanced oxygen intake and making that better. You breathe better. We know if you cut off oxygen, hey, guess what? You die. No surprise there. But being able to do it in the right way. And matter of fact, while we got you here, we're using video right now. Is there any kind of little exercise you could take me through here, and those that are joining us now on video, so we can get just a little example of what you're talking about with the Chi breathing?
Yeah, it's exciting. We have a 30-minute version, which is just intense, and then we've got a 2-minute version, which is much quicker. Something you can do when you're just, it's like 2 in the afternoon. You're tired. You're starting to nod off at the desk. You can do this quick 2-minute hit that will really energize things and shift things quickly.
Well, I like that. You were getting 2 minutes here. It's fast. It's legal. It's not going to cost anything. It's just oxygen. And in most places on the planet, we get that oxygen. Well, unless you're in those large cities. But then you get that. And so, hey, Troy, let's do it. I'm going to be the guinea pig here. And so
Awesome.
you can just kind of walk me through it. We'll see what we can do.
Yes. So usually in our society, we tend to breathe not well enough, not deep enough, not give enough oxygen in our body. So this is going to give a little jump start to the oxygen level in our body, which is always helpful. Now this breathing we can't do and sustain 24 hours a day. It's too much. But we give a little boost that kicks up the levels, and it's really healthy. So what it is first of all, I like us to take calming, relaxing breaths and just relax for a few moments. And we take full, deep, relaxed breaths into our belly to start with. So it's kind of like if you expand your breath into your lungs, it'll expand your belly, which pulls the oxygen all the way into your lungs.
Okay, I'm doing that right now. Feeling good.
Yeah,
this is really cool. I like it.
Yeah, it's just that is great. And then I like to set an intention. Just a brief, quick intention. What do you want out of this 2 minutes? And I like it to focus on one word. And it might be you want relaxation, peace. You might want energy. You might want abundance. You might want love. Whatever it is you want to feel or to experience or to create more in your life, state that in your mind, that one outcome that you want. And I
Okay, I
find
think
that
there's
that
something.
really gives it power, gives it direction, and is more than just a breath.
Okay, I'm doing that now. Matter of fact, I'm focusing on learning. For me,
Good.
learning, expanding our brain that way. So I'm just sharing with you my personal thoughts right now. So I'm focusing on learning.
Fantastic. And in the fuller program, the 2-day event, we really flush out this concept and how that power of the thought manifests itself. And another part is I want us to feel our chi, our energy. But for now, we don't have time to get into that part. But that's really tangible and powerful if you can feel that between your hands before we start. But for this purpose, we'll look over that part and get to the breath. So what you're going to do is you're going to do 30 breaths. And it's a different type of breath. We call it a chi breath. And what it is it's faster pace and it's fuller volume. And we're going to do that for 30 of them in a row. And we want to connect them in a way that they flow together. Now, I'll do a couple breaths just to give you an example. So it's going to be a... And you can kind of see the pacing I go at. And
Okay,
when I
yeah.
breathe, I'm breathing bigger and faster. So I'm breathing bigger. I'm breathing into the chest and the belly. So the whole thing expands. Not just the belly, not just the chest. I really expand it. So I increase the volume. And I'm going faster pace.
All right.
And a key when you're doing this is to do it relaxed. You don't want to breathe and go like this and tense your body and your nostrils flare, and you don't want that place. You want to be in a relaxed state as you're doing it. And preferably either all in your nose, in and out in your nose, or all in and out in your mouth. Sometimes our nose is a little stuffed and we can't quite do it, but we don't want to go in the nose, out the mouth, or in the mouth, out the nose. All breath, all mouth, all nose.
Okay,
Do that
very
for
good.
30 times, 30 breaths. And you might feel some things. You might feel some tingling in the hands. You might feel a little lightheaded. Just, I don't recommend doing this for the first time behind the wheel of a car, right? You want to do this at home in a place where you're comfortable and
Very
safe.
good. Anyone that's listening to the audio of this, do not try this while you're in a car. Not
Yes, exactly.
safe, secure place where you can relax and do it the right way.
Yep. And you know, as you do this and you get more comfortable with it, and your body gets more comfortable with increased levels of oxygen, you can do it while you're driving. You don't want to do, 300 breaths. 30 is good, right? So you can start both without the car and then maybe work your way up.
Okay.
After you're done, at the end of that 30 breaths, you should feel good. You should feel energy. You should feel warmth. Stay in that space for a few moments after that. Don't just breathe and then just move. Let that resonate and flow in you for a little bit, because that is also part of the benefit, is really letting that flow in you for a while and experiencing that and staying with that for a few moments. And that should be about 2-3 minutes of breathing, and just experiment with it. See how it feels, because you're going to feel great at the end.
Okay. Well, I think then that will be a good thing for each of us to do and practice that, go through it and do it. So you're talking about breathing in, kind of like, correct me if I'm wrong, and since we're using video, you can watch here. If I breathe in, something
Yeah, and
like
I
that.
didn't. I want to elaborate on this point. The connectedness part about it. We don't want it to hold at the bottom or pause at the top. We want to really go. It's almost circular, right? It just is in and out, instead of, right?
Ah,
We
gotcha.
want it
So
to
it's
flow.
circular, constantly moving.
It's gonna make a difference. When we breathe normally and relax, sometimes we have a pause at the top and a pause at the bottom. This, we want to just keep it flowing, and we want it relaxed in the face and the body the whole time. And once it can take some practice, and the more you do it, the more the better you get at relaxing and connecting and staying calm. The more power this has, and the quickly you can get charged up and feel that energy flow.
I do. Troy, this is great already. I mean, even though I'm conducting a video interview right now and I'm engineering this and running the controls and all those kind of things and monitoring what's happening from there, still doing the exercise and breathing that in the circular motion, I feel the energy coming. I'm anxious to do this on my own. And so I would encourage those of you that are watching, try this on your own. Hey, it's perfectly legal. It's good. It's free. It's going to help you enormously. Find that. But I know that people are going to have some questions as they go through. And I also understand, Troy, that you've got a hands-on right there showing people how to do it seminar coming up very soon in January. Tell us about that and how they can get in touch with you.
It's January 18th and 19th. It's a Saturday and a Sunday, from all day, 2 days, and it's going to be at the Embassy Suites near the airport in Minneapolis, St. Paul. It's actually in the city of Bloomington, but it's right by the airport, and it's going to be in January 18th and 19th. We're going to do another one. We haven't set the date yet, but it's going to be probably in March or April, and we'll set that up. You can see on the lower third, our website is QI.com. Chi spelled Q-I, and that is going to have the dates, so you can look at that. We're going to continually have more and more of these, and eventually we're going to be able to offer continuing education units for massage therapists, for fitness instructors, for acupuncturists. That's in the immediate future, and eventually we're going to add more CEUs to other professions.
So, yeah, very good. So, like Troy said, you'll see there on that's the Chi, that's spelled Q-I, and breathingrevolution.com. Be sure and tie into that. If you're watching this before January 18th, 19th of 2014, by all means, get in touch with him, find out about it, find out about what's available. And if you're catching this afterwards, hey, he still has a lot of this. You'll be able to tie into it, bounce over to the website, get in touch with Troy. He is a stand-up guy. He's a guy that I've known for a long time. We spoke together at a conference with Della Toro McNeil and had a fabulous time. And what he's saying really can help you a lot. It can help you to center your thinking, get rid of the barriers like we did with the breaking the board. I found that to be very helpful. And now the breathing, this seems like it would be a very good thing to do even on a daily basis. And being able to get that oxygen to your brain is scientifically sound and helps a lot. Troy, any words that you want to leave people with as we say goodbye here on how they can take this information and apply it in their lives even more?
Well, I think try that 3-minute breath every once in a while, once or twice a day, and experiment with it, because it'll really make some energetic shifts within you. And I invite you to come see us live in January, because it's going to be amazing. We're going to break boards as well as do some powerful breathing and talk about how our mind works. And it's very experiential and interactive. So I'm very excited to create this with my partner Deanna Ryder. We're going to just do some amazing things with you if you can come out and check it out with us.
We're looking forward to hearing some great things about that. Troy, as always, great to see you, and we will look forward to being in touch with you again. Remember, that website is Chi, that's Q-I, breathingrevolution.com. Check that out. I'm Terry Brock with terrybrock.com. Thank you for joining us today.